On today's That Park Place Daily Countdown, Disney cast members say the Galactic Starcruiser was never profitable. Disney announces a live-action reboot of a Disney afternoon classic. Hollywood declines to make movies for the entire summer. Disney offers one last humiliation to Lucasfilm this year. The Game Boy camera gets an update, and Zootopia Land finally announces its opening day. All that on today's That Park Place. Good morning. Welcome to the That Park Place Daily News Countdown. I'm Jonas J. Campbell, and with me, as always, is Vash Sky. Vash, you're always so humble, taking a bow.
Oh, well, you know, Jonas, you bring out the very best qualities in me, and that is humility. So thank you so much for having me on.
You're too modest. Well, today we've got news from entertainment, streaming, theme parks, and video games. So let's get right to all of our contributors for all the news that should be fun.
Number 1.
Hello, this is Lorena of the Lorena Creole YouTube channel, keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. And speaking of keeping it real, turns out the Galactic Starcruiser never made any money and had a lower average occupancy than expected. Coming to us from WDW News today, 3 individuals close to the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser project at Walt Disney World Resort have said that the experience never made money, according to a new report from The Wrap. It was also revealed that the immersive hotel experience had a lower occupancy on average than initially thought. When the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser opened in March 2022, the experience cost guests nearly $5,000 per cabin for the 2-night stay. Not 500, 5,000. Despite the high cost of entry, other expenses and low occupancy contributed to its reportedly low profits. According to The Wrap, there were 2 sets of characters on duty at all times aboard the Starcruiser to account for if a performer became sick or injured, thus doubling performer costs. And in addition, the highly detailed theatrical experience cost a ton of money to develop, and Disney didn't help matters by being unable to convey to the general public what the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser exactly was. In the end, approximately 71,000 guests were passengers on the 274 voyages aboard the experience, according to The Wrap. The average occupancy rate of the Galactic Starcruiser was 78%, meaning that some cruises had an occupancy as low as 20%. Are you surprised to hear this news about the Galactic Starcruiser? Let us know in the comments.
Number 2.
Founding indie comics editor and aspiring skyscraper resident Spencer Picculi here to let my fellow Disney Afternoon fans know that a live-action adaptation of Gargoyles is currently in the works for the House of Mouse's titular streaming service. For those unfamiliar with the classic animated series, Gargoyles followed a small group of the eponymous creatures who, after being cursed by humanity to a lengthy stone slumber, reawakened roughly 1,000 years later in modern-day New York. Understandably confused by the world they now find themselves in, the team, consisting of Goliath, Hudson, Brooklyn, Lexington, Broadway, and of course the Little Guy Bronx, proceed to dedicate themselves to both acclimating to their new home and protecting it from the many supernatural and technological forces that seek to threaten it. Originally running for 3 seasons from 1994 to 1997, the last of which was so marred by production issues that it was eventually rendered non-canon, Gargoyles would sadly spend the next 25 years flying under the radar in relative obscurity, only being saved from non-existence thanks to 2 comic book series, one published in 2006 by Slave Labor Graphics and the other currently being published by Dynamite, both of which were written by one of the series' most prominent original creators, Greg Weisman. That was until October 16th, when The Hollywood Reporter exclusively revealed that Goliath and crew would be the next of Disney's many properties to receive the live-action treatment. As penned by Annabelle series writer Gary Dauberman and produced by his and fellow Conjuring universe architect James Wan's production studio, Atomic Monster. Currently considered to be in early development by Disney, the live-action Gargoyle series has yet to provide any details regarding its production teams, cast members, or overall direction. That all said, I want to turn the question over to you. What do you make of Disney's plans to bring Gargoyles to live action? Do you think the mouse is currently capable of doing the source material justice? Are you, like me, kind of a little excited to see the Steel Clan robots in action? Let us know your thoughts.
Number 3.
Well, the release schedule for movies in the last couple of years have been like your least favorite roller coaster. So much anticipation leading to complete disappointment. And so it is with one of next year's most anticipated films, and a whole lot of other films actually, Mission Impossible 8, Dead Reckoning Part 2, whatever you want to call it. But my friends, there's so much more disappointment ahead. Oh, let me share it with you. Hi folks, it's CC here for That Park Place with a story inspired by our pal Anthony D'Alessandro over at Deadline. With Disney's recent announcement that Deadpool 3 is, well, delayed thanks to an ongoing and now utterly ridiculous actor strike stretching over 100 days at this point, we now have a mountain of bad roller coasters in our future. Like all shockwaves through any industry, the cascading effects and the ripples don't stop there. Paramount's decision in the wake of Disney's bombshell is now reworking its cinematic calendar, pushing MI8 from June 28th next year to May of 2025. Why the nearly 1 year calendar delay? Well, the Memorial Day start of summer window, and the need for a 3-week IMAX window that MI7 did not get. So far, the only big competition for that film now is a Disney Untitled film, which is coming from Bob Iger's newly minted Bomb Factory. But that's just one of the many changes due to hit the big movies this year. Rollercoaster carousel, call it what you will. Is this ride around the release dates really worth it in the end? For us or for the cinemas? Will these delays further hurt the cinemas and overall box office revenues permanently? And as a side question, if I may, will this actors strike actually resolve soon? Let us know your thoughts on it all down in the comments section below.
Number 4. Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny is getting one last humiliation before it goes out the door. The Walt Disney Company is deciding that Indy will not appear for the Black Friday sales that you would think might just lift its sales. But no, it may be that big box retailers, and this is even worse, are saying to Disney, we will not provide you real estate space inside our Black Friday adverts. You will not be on our shelves because they've seen how this was shelved at the box office. That means that Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny will only release on physical media in December, missing the biggest sales weeks of the year. And it likely means that Disney and all of its partners know this is a dud of all duds. It goes down as not only a historic box office failure, but also now as a film that has not even one scintilla of enthusiasm behind it to put it out for those customers who are enjoying their turkey and their gravy and, shall I say, even their stuffing, but not stuffing stockings filled with Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. It is a sad day in a sad way for the archaeologist to head out. Number 5.
Hi everybody, Tommy Tables here, and I want you to come back with me, again. Back to the 1990s and the dawn of the coolest handheld console ever made. Yes, that's right, I am talking about the Game Boy. The Game Boy, as you might be aware, was a green and black screen pixelated masterpiece that could play cartridges on the go. Now, later on, Nintendo had made a camera for the Game Boy in an act of what I think is prescience. And while this camera was pretty neat, it was, as you can see on the screen, kind of bulky, stuck out over the head of the Game Boy. It was sort of portable in name only. All that to be said, though, people loved it, and people still use it to this day. And so 25 years later, we're still seeing Game Boy mods being made. In this case, a new and improved Game Boy mini camera. This modder by the name of Christopher Graves took an old Game Boy cartridge, stuffed all the original Game Boy camera mechanics into it, and then added an iPhone camera lens. The really interesting thing about this mod is the fact that it still takes these very pixelated images. And so when I saw this at first, I didn't realize this was a thing. I didn't realize people still, use this 25-year-old camera. Looking at the photos, it's kind of cool. It actually looks like an 8-bit video game. The sad news here is that this isn't a mass-produced product. Christopher has basically made this mod just to see if he could. At the same time, with a lot of these DIY projects, they often leave the instructions for how to make these things online somewhere. So if you really felt ambitious and wanted to do it on your own, and if you have an iPhone to spare, you could probably create this.
Number 6.
Bash Sky here with the next story, this time from Scott Houston on Twitter. New Zootopia at Shanghai Disney Resort officially opens on December 20th. This is a story we've been tracking for a little while here, and we will definitely have to come back to this once it finally opens, and so we can review some of the attractions and so forth, some of the stuff we did with Hong Kong's Frozen Land. But you can see the pictures here. Actually looks pretty good. I mean, this is a nice showing for this attraction that's been in the works for quite some time here. We can see additional photos right here of some of the amazing architectural theming and so forth, and some of the work that WDI has done. So Are you guys excited about this? Are you guys going to take that plane ride over to China and get on some of these Zootopia themed attractions here? Please let us know in the comments below.
That's another stellar day here on That Park Place. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video, where we like to make it really weird. Vash, say something weird and strange and unusual right now.
I don't know. The loud
Great
noises.
job. Thank you so much. That was perfect. All right, you can follow us at the Twitter handles above, or you can follow our collaborators in the links down below. And as always, please subscribe to That Park Place for all the news that should be blah, 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 as a great man once said. That should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com for all the news that should be fun. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.